Leadership is not an endowment, it's an accomplishment. So there are no born leaders. No one has leadership trusted on them. That's why I said it is not occupying a seat, it is accomplishing a feat. So it can't be trusted on you. And some achieve greatness or attain to leadership. That is the truth. Everyone in leadership attains to it. Check on the world heavyweight wrestling champion and it will tell you how he came there. He had to fall down several times on his own with his coach before he appears on the stage. The boxer has to have his sandbag and punch it 10 straight punch and then 10 straight head boot, so that when they hit him on the ring, he's stable. So you never become a leader without paying the price for it. I mean, I think that is the bottom line. You never become a leader without paying the price for it. Therefore, leadership is not in the titles you wear. It's in the values you add. Leadership is not in the titles we wear. It's in the values we add. It's not in the positions we occupy. It's in the outstanding contributions we make. It's not about leading people, it's about taking the lead in your given task. Billy Graham is a world leader today by being an outstanding leader in his field. When his wife passed on, the whole world sent delegations, governments of all nations, Arab, non-Arab nations, everywhere, including my country. Everyone sent representation to represent their government for the passing away of a world leader by being a leader in his field. It's never swerved into politics. When presidents of nations have a handshake with Bill Gates, it goes to their CV that he had a handshake with Bill Gates. By being a leader in this field. Leadership has nothing to do with color or race. It has to do with accomplishment. You know, you go to the field of sports, nobody cares about your color. When they say on your mark, set, go, and you hit the tape first. Whether you are black or dark, brown or gray, whosoever hits the tape first is number one. Nobody cares what nation you came from. You may come from the least of all nations. If you hit the tape first, you are one. That's what it is in every field. So your color is not your deterrent. Your low accomplishment is what defines your low rating. For instance, now there is no church I will go to in America that will be on my CV. There won't be any place for it. Why? It's not the size of the church I pastor. There is none in America. Not just in number, but in content and quality. I can't be adding to my CV that I went to so and so place, so please write it on my CV. No. It's all about your accomplishment. It has nothing to do with your color or your race. Just your accomplishment. Check the National Basketball Association, the NBA in America. You see how many are from various places, Chinese, African, everybody. Whosoever can play, the club gets him. Because they want to win. So they get whosoever has the skill. And that's all. And what a joy to note that every one of us has a leadership heritage in Christ. Every child of God has a leadership heritage in Christ. And that can be defined from three perspectives. One, as a beneficiary of the Abrahamic covenant. He said, kings and nations shall come out of his loins. Genesis 17, 4 and 5. And Jesus died to make you a beneficiary of the Abrahamic covenant. He was made a curse for us, because it is written, curses every man that hangeth upon the tree, that the blessings of Abraham might come unto us who are Gentiles, and might obtain the promise of the Spirit through faith. You see, so you belong to the Abrahamic seed, and so by heritage you are either a king or a nation. When I mean nation, I mean an institution. There are personalities on earth and there are institutions. You know, you are either a clear leader or you have grown beyond leadership to becoming an institution. Come on, say institution. Now then, look at your redemption in Christ. He has redeemed us unto our God as priests and kings. Revelation 5:10. And we shall reign on the earth. So by redemption, you have a leadership heritage. You know, you have a leadership heritage. And Jesus, speaking to his disciples, said, ye are the salt of the earth. That is someone to be sorted after. Salt is a requirement everywhere. Salt deficiency could lead to a lot of health problems and health challenges. So salt is needed everywhere. So you are not a liability to the world, you are an asset. The world needs you. That's what Jesus said. You have a part to play that the world will always need. And he went on and said, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill that cannot be hid. So every disciple is a pace setter, the light of the world, showing others the way to go. Matthew 5:13-15. I mean, that clearly also shows your leadership heritage in redemption. And then we talk about your leadership heritage in the prophetic. In the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be exalted above the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Isaiah 2:1-3. Now you are on board that flight, that end time flight, and whatever altitude the plane is going, that's where everyone on board is going. The plane can be on 2,000 feet above sea level, and then you're on 10,000 feet. So if the plane is up, and you are on board, then you are up. So prophetically, you belong to a royal family, a leading family. So you have this 3-channel route of leadership. So you have it. Now let's now go ahead and look at what then will make that a reality. And then we'll look at what I've classified as the leadership covenant. Say with me, leadership covenant. There is nothing mysterious about the word covenant. A covenant is a pact on well-defined terms to which the parties are equally obligated. That's a covenant. Hello? It's a pact based on well-defined pacts, well-defined terms on which both parties are equally obligated. Now, let me quickly say this. God is the author of leadership. Who is the author? Now, when the first man was made in Genesis 1:26, he said to him, have dominion. Do what? Be in charge. Take the lead. Direct the affairs. Show the way. Set the pace. Blaze the trail. You are in charge. That's the word dominion. Take the lead. And then we are told, and God planted a vineyard, planted a garden, and there a placeman whom he has made. So God defined his territory, his field. Genesis 2:8. And then in Genesis 2:15 and 16, he said to him how to validate his leadership. Dress this garden and keep it, and eat of every fruit of the tree of the garden, except the one that is in the midst of the garden. That means manage this field to validate your leadership. Come and say manage. Okay? So, man had a leadership mandate, and that mandate is to be validated by a management task. So it is impossible to define leadership outside the context of management. It is efficient management that culminates in leadership. I hope I'm still speaking. Is someone catching what I'm talking about? So, your leadership heritage can only be validated by your efficient management. Now, let's now look at management in what sphere? First, management of self, management of task, management of material and human resources. Management. And if leadership is therefore defined in the context of management, that already connotes skill development. Because management cannot be imparted, it has to be learned. Skill cannot be imparted. You don't lay hands on someone and say, now be a pilot. Go and fly. Otherwise, I would have done that many years ago and be flying by myself. It will be cheaper anyway. And then all the pastors around might just lay hands on you. Now you're a pilot, and now take me straight to Lagos. There was one time our pilot misbehaved, and one of my sons in the Lord said, let me go for training. I said, before you finish, I will have finished my job. Because before you are qualified to be a captain, you must have flown 3,000 hours. So I can't wait for you. You know, that's why we have very low key leadership rating among many. It is not an endowment, it's an accomplishment. It is not in the title we wear, it's in the values we carry and add in our field. Now, so I have come to define management, therefore, as the product of efficient management of self, of task, of material and human resources. Efficient management of self. So leadership begins with efficient management of yourself. Efficient management of yourself. And that corroborates scriptures. He said, if a man does not know how to rule his house, how shall he rule the church of God? 1 Timothy 3:5. So it begins with you.